What's good, Black Star Podcast? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Jared. Y'all, today we're going to be looking at a video from Sister Didi. Now, these women have been gone. These women's whole world has been fucked up. Because now that the Chinese people have told them where their products come from, they've been going insane. I want to take a look at this because this is actually quite funny.
The American brands through TikTok videos, it has confirmed that over 80% of the luxury items being purchased at exorbitant prices are manufactured in China and only packaged in the US. They're peeling off the layers due to the tariffs and all of these, all of this. They're exposing it that, hey, a lot of the items that y'all are purchasing at these super expensive prices, they are made for a fraction of the cost, and you can actually get them a lot cheaper, and they are not really worth the thousands and thousands of dollars that a lot of American people are spending this money on. And to be honest, a lot of our women spend the majority of this money on these handbags, these shoes, all of these things that are supposed to mean that you are top tier, so rich type of person. Now they're exposing that this stuff is the same, that when a lot of these items that are looked at as like knockoffs, a lot of them are coming from the same factories. They're slapping their names on it. They're lying and saying that it's coming from one place when it's coming from somewhere else.
I just want to say something right quick because there was a situation to where Payless did an experiment, or somebody had did an experiment like this using Payless shoes. They would swap out the boxes, label the inside of the shoe a certain name, and they opened up a store in New York, and they were charging an extreme amount of prices, and people were buying this stuff. And then the experiment ended. They refunded all the money, but it only showed that a perceived value of the product is what. You know what? Matter of fact, I'm gonna bring that story up. Let me find it while I'm watching this.
Particularly made in China, and they're making a lot of us believe that these things will make you special and it's so great, and then condemning other people who have what they would consider a knockoff, when in most cases these are all the same bags, the same shoes. They're just upselling it by 1,000 points. I'm just saying, way more than what it costs for them to make it. And so this is why it's so expensive, but it's really not. It's really not. But we're gonna get into the video. Y'all chime in. Let me know what y'all think about this, because I think this is crazy, but also it should be a lesson to people who think that they need to spend all this money on these things when it's really not worth it. But let's get into the video. Here we go.
Some say as long as there's a tag saying made in China, the bag can never be luxury. However, in fact, more than 80% of the luxury bags in the world are made in China, but those luxury brands just won't acknowledge that. They take almost finished bags from China factories back to their own factories and just do the repackaging and logo installing, something like that. That way, the bags will appear at their boutiques as made in Italy or made in France. You know, those sophisticated European countries, which make you feel mysterious, royal, and thus luxury.
Right. And I mean, listen, during the pandemic 2020, that kind of revealed a lot then, after that, a lot of around that time, there were people who, like regular people, who were able to travel to China and go buy a lot of these products wholesale and then come back and sell them. People were doing skincare lines and all types of things where you can go over and purchase the products in bulk, and you can have your logo placed on them. You can actually, have it all set up for your own business. But most people went to China to get those items, and I don't understand. I remember looking, cups and everything pretty much that we own, you would see made in China, or at one point it was Taiwan. You would look on the back or bottom of your mug or bottom of your plate and it said made in China or made in Taiwan.
Exactly. And the funny part is, you hear a lot of people talking about drop shipping. Now, the drop shipping industry thrives on cheap pricing, but they charge an excessive amount to make it look like it was expensive. Or they'll add their logo or their designs onto it and basically try to bring an amount of price. Now, this right here, fake luxury shoe store prank proves luxury is just what shit. Damn, I'm struggling. But look at this.
Payless wondered how much people would pay for our shoes if they didn't know they were our shoes. So we rebranded for a weekend.
Yo, what's going on YouTube? It's your boy ACL Official back.
Matter of fact, let me go to the actual this.
We built a fake luxury store in Los Angeles and filled it with Payless shoes. The guests at our grand opening party had no idea.
They're elegant, sophisticated. I just think it's so classy.
And I could tell it was made with high quality material.
These are people that are matter of fact, let me let it finish.
Fashionistas actually paid $200, $400, and even $600 for Payless shoes. But you can get these same shoes at Payless for $19.99 or lower with our epic holiday deals. Why?
Yeah. That's what Payless did. Here's a news article.
Experiment making headlines by the chain Payless Shoes. They held a grand opening of a luxury store with a different name but the same shoes and charged hundreds more for those same shoes. Customers paid. Here's ABC's Kana Whitworth.
Behold, Palessi. We built a fake luxury store in Los Angeles and filled it with Payless shoes. The guests at our grand opening party had no idea.
Guests invited to check out what looked like a luxury shoe shop.
They're elegant, sophisticated. I just think it's so classy.
And I could tell it was made with high quality material.
A $35 shoe going for $645, an 1,800% markup. Store owners sat on their heels as fashion influencers emptied their wallets.
I would pay $400, $500. Yeah, people are gonna be like, where'd you get those? Those are amazing.
Then they're let in on the prank.
These are actually from Payless.
You've got to be kidding me.
Shut up. Are you serious?
But those shoppers were refunded their money and they got to keep the shoes.
David, Payless calling it a provocative social experiment designed to challenge today's image-conscious culture. Either way, it was an effective PR stunt.
Yeah.
David.
Clearly a marketing ploy, but they paid. Kana, thank you.
The fact that these people pay, and shout out to ABC News. I'm going to link it down below because I'm not about to get a copyright strike on that bullshit. But you see how these people will literally pay out of the ass for these products, but yet come to find out the products are cheaply made anyways. It's funny to me. It's really funny to me because these very same people will waste their money on some shit that if they really look down the line, look at where these products are coming from and seeing if they're actually one-offs, you would actually figure out that they were made in the factory in China. Especially if the knockoff looks just like the quote-unquote real one. Same line. Buy me a Birkin. Buy me a Gucci. Buy me a Louis Vuitton. Buy me this, buy me that, buy me these expensive-ass luxury brand. But then come to find out that that luxury brand is basically buying all their shit from fucking China, shipping it in under their label with their logos and all that shit on there, making it gaudy, and you're paying thousands of dollars for it. I'm going to start designing my own shit at this point. I'm going to start designing my own shit. Well, hell, I should say, I'm going to start buying my stuff from a whole nother brand or a whole nother company in China and then charging out the ass for it at this point. Because if people are willing to do some bullshit like that, that's just insane. But anyways, guys, like, share, subscribe to the channel, support the podcast, Spotify.com. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.